Got laid off from my corporate job yesterday. And I think that this is the reality for a lot of Americans right now, and it needs to be shared because America is not doing well right now. We have a 94% prediction rate that the recession's gonna come, but yet our frickin' administration hasn't even made the move to actually say that a recession's coming. And let's actually call it what it is, a depression. People can't afford groceries, they can't afford rent, they can't afford buying houses, they can't afford having babies, they can't afford having the kids in general if they already have them. We are not in a good spot, y'all. I know that I'm just a number in a company, but I thought I was okay. You're going to think that you're okay because you've worked there for so long or you have the right experience. Like, you guys, I have an undergraduate in marketing, a master's in business, 6 years of paid social media experience, both on a strategist and manager level. I have done people management for at least 3 years. I'm a senior level in my career. And yet, when I was hired to do a senior level role, I was forced into entry level positions. I was doing entry level work as a senior level strategist, all while at the same time being asked to reduce my workload with AI, and our team was having layoffs every 3 months. I should have seen it coming.
Okay. Should you have seen it coming? Yeah, probably. The reality is that most people don't. To your point, a lot of people get into these roles and we think that we've been there for a certain amount of time, that, we do a certain function, or we have certain relationships and we don't see it when the axe is falling. I talk to people every day and, they are content, happy in their current roles. And that's never a place that you want to be. That's really never a place that you want to be. You want to be constantly on the hunt, constantly looking for better opportunities, because you never know when the one in front of you won't be there anymore. Kind of that old story, old book, Who Moved My Cheese? I'm sure several of you've read that book years and years ago. It was an old book. But essentially, it's the story of the rat trap, the mouse trap, or at least a maze, where the rat gets comfortable with this cheese that is old and molten, but they don't recognize that that the cheese is old, and they're afraid to turn the corner. They're afraid to try another route. But if they just got out of their comfort zone, went around a corner, turned here, turned there, looked a different direction, they recognize that there is a larger amount of cheese. There's better cheese available to them if they just get up and go around the corner. They just get up and look a different direction and try something different. Too often, many of us get there in these positions and we stay there and we stay there and we stay there and we get comfortable with the cheese that's in front of us. And but that cheese is old. That cheese is molded, and before you know, it's gone. So a lot of us get in these situations like that. One thing that I also would say, in at least the first part of the video, is she was quick to rattle off her resume, to talk about the fact that, she had her bachelor's degree, her master's degree, and she was a senior level this and a senior level that. And that's great. Congratulations. I say kudos. Good for you. But it's one thing for you to talk about your accomplishments and your skill set. It's another thing for an employer to value and also recognize your accomplishments and where you are within your career. So where she talked about all of the degrees, where she talked about being a senior level analyst, but the key is that she was being brought in as entry level, right? So that meant in most cases, not all cases, but a lot of cases, they don't recognize or see you at that level, right? So always kind of put little fillers out there to try to get an assessment of what the marketplace, how they see you. Because oftentimes you will have an elevated value of yourself, right? Because, you've gone to this school. You've gotten this degree. You have a master's degree. You have 10 years of experience. But if that degree, if that master's degree, if that experience isn't in the area that's valuable to the marketplace, it's not worth a whole lot, right? So it's not so much about how you see it, it's about how the market sees or recognizes your experience and your value. So last thing is that I always recommend put your resume out. Put your resume out, go and interview, go and post for jobs, because one, you may get the job. But the other thing you'll do is that you'll get a real life assessment of what the market, how the market values your experiences and your education. What value you bring into the marketplace, right? So always go out, always put your resume out, always go out posting and get a true assessment of what your value is to the organization. Okay, let's hit the last part of it.
I really should have. But the thing is that it was not something that I saw coming. Because the day before that they laid me off, I was literally talking coverage plans with another employee who was going on leave for like months. How am I supposed to sit there and not think that I'm safe in that moment? I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that we live in a world like this where like my manager wasn't even the one that fired me, by the way, or laid me off. It was frickin' HR, and they read off a script, but my whole team got laid off. And this is the reality for a lot of Americans right now. My partner is a first responder, so I'm very lucky for the fact that I can be leaning on him for support right now, because luckily his job is secure, thanks to the fact that number one, his job is essential, and number two, he has a union behind him. What I will never understand is why corporate agencies have not unionized. We're not allowed, right? We're not allowed. That's part of it. We'll get fired because at least in this corporate world, they're always going to side on the side of business because that's what's making the government money. This world right now is not supporting people. It is supporting business. You are just a number, unfortunately.
Listen, I mean, I think that she's right in some respects. I mean, it's a capitalist society. It's all about making money. It's all about growing the bottom line for investors, shareholders, stakeholders. So to think that you're going to go into an organization and they've invested millions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars into growing that organization over the last 20, 30, 50, 100 years. And their primary motivator is people. That's just not the world we live in. And the quicker you realize that, come to that realization, the better off you're going to be. They are going to build the organization. They're going to build the bottom line. And if you think that they're going to go there and sacrifice the shareholders' investments, if you think that they're going to sacrifice their jobs and their livelihood because of you, you're sadly mistaken, unfortunately. So thankfully for her, as she said, she has a husband or a partner, as she said, at home that can carry the load. I think that's fantastic. That it's great that she has a partner at home that can help with the bills and managing the home. That takes a little bit of the load off, and I think that's great for her. So I wish her all the best. I think that I love her background, but I think the biggest thing is that she needs to make sure that she goes in and tries to really get a true value of a marketplace value and go from there.